guys, and welcome back to Not Your Everyday Wall. Today we're going to be transforming a plain white bedroom wall into a much more dramatic black and white stenciled look. We've got a lot of white happening between the walls and the white wicker furniture that really blend together. They don't really contrast at all. The only pop of color we have is with these pink pillows and a pink comforter. So we're going to do a fairly dramatic accent wall behind this bed to really just bring some life to this room. And like I said, the walls are currently white, so I decided to repaint them gray because we're doing a black and white wall. So I think it'll be nice to have the gray instead of pure white as the background, so the black and white won't be such a harsh contrast. And this is the stencil we're going to be using. It includes 4 different flowers: the daffodil, daisy, lily, and primrose. And I ordered the stencils in a fairly big size because, like I said, we're going for a pretty dramatic wall and we're going to be placing them randomly on the wall. So I am cutting them into individual pieces so they'll be easier to place because I don't want to use them in one big line. And the reason I chose to do a black and white wall is because I believe the black and white will contrast really well with all of the white furniture we have going on in the room. Additionally, because the pattern is so big and bold with the 4 different flowers, the black and white is also simple enough where it really lets the pattern shine. And I'm going to be spraying each of my 4 flowers with spray adhesive so they'll stick to the walls really well. And I actually ended up making this kind of pre-visualization of what I want the wall to look like so I can show you guys what my plan is. I'm going to be following this layout that I created and placing my stencils on the wall accordingly. And it's really nice having all 4 as different pieces so I can place them where I need to and paint them all at the same time. I'm also using tape just as a double precaution to make sure that they stick really well to the wall. And I'm going to be using a small roller and wiping excess paint off onto a paper towel, so you want to be working with a pretty dry roller. And I found as I went that it kind of was a bit splotchy and you could go over this with a second coat, but I was really intrigued. Hopefully this is like a happy accident and looks good, so I decided to stick with it and pull up the stencil, and I ended up really liking it. It's got this faded look where certain parts are more heavy in paint and certain parts are lighter in paint. And overall, it creates a really nice texture and is really easily replicable by having pretty light paint on your brush, going over everything lightly, and then going back over areas that you want to be darker in kind of a random pattern. And if you're doing something similar to this and that you want to have a random wall, one thing you could do to really speed up the process is ordering 2 or even 3 of the same stencil. That way you can tape them all where you want them, and then you could stencil them all at once so you don't have to keep placing them. And that is the finished look. I think it came out really well, and you can see there's a lot of detail in all of the textures that really adds a lot of dynamics to this look. Every single flower is really different from the others. And I'm really happy I decided to go with a slightly gray base instead of pure white. I think this works really nicely with the black and isn't too harsh of a contrast. And here it is with all the furniture back in the room. I think it looks really nice. The pink goes really well with the simple black and white, as well as the white wicker is able to really pop off the wall, and the wall pattern can even show through this little nightstand. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to tune in next Tuesday for the next episode of Not Your Everyday Wall. And we actually post a different series every day of the week, Monday through Friday, so make sure to keep up with all of our social media so you can stay up to date on all of our different series. Head to our website to check out more of our stencils, and don't forget to tag us on social media with your stencil art.